So, if you're managing more than one Instagram account, you definitely know the feeling. The constant app switching, the headache of scheduling, and let's not forget the security worries. Today, we are going to cut right through all that chaos. We're going to build the perfect tech stack to help you manage all those accounts efficiently and, maybe more importantly, safely. Okay, let's get into it. I mean, this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling. You're juggling steering wheels, checking a bunch of different mirrors, and just really trying not to crash. That exact kind of chaos is what we're here to solve today. And here's our game plan. First, we'll really define the problem we're all facing. Then, I'll introduce a super simple framework with 4 categories of tools. We'll look at some specific examples, build a few sample stocks for different types of users, and then wrap up with the absolute non-negotiables of account security. So let's kick things off with the core issue here, and that is the problem of scale. What feels pretty manageable with one single account quickly spirals into a massive headache with 3 or 5 or even 10. Because it's never just about posting, is it? It's about keeping track of all these different schedules, trying to respond to comments and DMs from multiple brands, sorting out which analytics report belongs to which account, and doing it all while basically praying you don't get one of them flagged or shut down. The complexity, it really does grow exponentially. So, how do we fix this mess? We bring in a framework. See, instead of getting lost looking at hundreds of different apps, we can just simplify our thinking by grouping them into 4 essential categories. This gives you immediate clarity on what you actually need. Now, this is where it all starts to click. You've got your scheduling tools for pure efficiency, you've got analytics for your strategy, you've got content creation for the visuals, and then there's the one that most people forget, account isolation, which is all about security. To be honest, most professionals really do need a tool from each of these buckets to build a system that's truly going to last. Okay, let's put some real names to these categories. The goal here isn't to review every single tool out there, but really to understand how they work and, what kind of person they're built for. For example, let's look at scheduling tools. You've got something like Buffer, which is just fantastic for its simplicity and clean interface. It's perfect if you just want to get your content scheduled without a lot of fuss. But then you have Later, which is built around a visual calendar, letting you actually see how your grid is going to look. It's all about picking the tool that really matches your own workflow. And this brings us to what might be the most crucial category, account isolation. Seriously, think of this as your insurance policy. Instagram tracks everything, your device, your location, your browser details. If it sees 10 accounts all logging in from the exact same digital fingerprint, it can flag them. Isolation tools stop this from happening by giving each account its very own unique identity. And here we see 2 totally different ways to solve that same problem. Sendwin is a cloud-based tool, which means you can access these isolated browser profiles from anywhere, perfect for teams. GoLogin is an app you actually install, and it even has a mobile version. Both solve that core problem of isolation, and thankfully, both offer free tiers to let you get started. When it comes to analytics, the options are all over the map. You can go super deep with a tool like Iconosquare for competitor tracking, get these beautiful client-ready reports from Sprout Social, or honestly, just stick with Instagram's own free built-in insights for a quick check on performance. And finally, content creation. The key thing here for anyone managing multiple accounts is brand consistency. A tool like Canva is just perfect for this, with its Brand Kits feature, which lets you save separate logos, fonts, and color palettes for every single client or project. All right, we have our building blocks. Now for the fun part. Let's actually put them together. We're going to look at 3 completely different types of users and build a recommended tool stack for each one. First up is the solo creator. Maybe you're managing a personal brand, a side hustle, and a passion project. The goal here is pretty simple: maximum efficiency with 0 budget. So you can use Buffer's free plan for scheduling, use separate Chrome profiles for some basic isolation, and stick with Canva's free version for all your content. And the best part about all this? The total cost for this super effective stack is a beautiful $0 per month. You can get organized and protected without spending a single dime. Next up, the freelancer, who's probably managing about 5 to 10 client accounts. Okay, at this stage, we need to make some smart investments. We'll upgrade to a paid scheduling tool like Later for better visual planning, step up our security with a dedicated isolation tool like Send.Win's free tier, and grab Canva Pro for those more advanced content features. So for just $38 a month, you get a professional-grade setup. This lets you manage your clients way more effectively, deliver better results, and protect their accounts. It's a tiny investment for the huge value it provides. And finally, we have the agency, juggling 20 or more accounts. At this scale, you need the big guns, enterprise-level tools. That means something like Hootsuite for robust team collaboration, a paid plan for Sendwin to share accounts securely with team members, a dedicated analytics platform like Square, and Canva for Teams. The total cost here comes out to around $207 a month. And yeah, that might sound like a big jump. But for an agency that's managing a large portfolio, this isn't an expense. It is the essential cost of doing business professionally, securely, and at scale. Now, before we wrap this up, let's talk about the foundation that all of these tools have to sit on: security. You can have the best scheduling and content tools in the world, but it all means absolutely nothing if your accounts aren't secure. So treat this slide like your non-negotiable checklist: unique, strong passwords for everything, two-factor authentication on every single account. Be really picky about the permissions you grant to third-party apps, and like we've been talking about, keep every single account in its own isolated environment. These steps are not optional, they are essential. So what's the big takeaway here? It's that the right tool stack transforms that feeling of driving 5 cars at once into gliding down the highway in a single, well-oiled machine. And the journey is simple. Start with a good scheduler, immediately add an isolation tool for security, and then start layering on those more advanced analytics and content tools as your needs and your business grow. And that really just leaves us with one final thought. You now have the framework to look at your own setup. So take a second and ask yourself, what is the weakest link in your current stack? Is it scheduling? Is it your content workflow? Or is it that crucial, often overlooked layer of security? Because that's where you should start making a change today.